Welcome back. It's your friend Mel. I'm so thrilled that you are here with me. I am excited to continue telling you the story about what happened when our daughter was invited to sing her new single, Pastime, at Carnegie Hall. On the day of the recital, it's a Friday, I'm driving down from Vermont, and Kendall is flown in the night before, and she's staying with some friends from college in New York City. And as I'm about to get to the city, she calls me. It's like around 2:30 and says, "Hey, Mom, will you pick me up down in the West Village at my friend's apartment and then drive me up to Carnegie Hall? I just think it would be so cool to see you." And I was really excited about this because I just assumed I wasn't going to see her until after her performance because I didn't want to stress her out. But I was like, yeah, I can pick you up. We got plenty of time. And she reminded me that her call time at Carnegie Hall was 4:15 and the sound check was going to happen at 5:30. So plenty of time. And honestly, I was just absolutely thrilled. So I'm driving down the West Side Highway. I pull up to the apartment. She jumps in the car. We brace each other. It was so exciting. And what immediately struck me was she was just cool as a cucumber. And we were talking up a storm, and she had had a great night the night before, and we're driving uptown, and this song comes on that she loves, and she grabbed my hand, and she started to cry, and she's like, "I just can't believe this is happening." And I'm like, "I can't believe it's happening either." And so I was just thrilled to be in the moment. And honestly, to have a little bit of time with her before the show began and before some of our family and friends started to arrive in town to see her perform. And I had booked a hotel that was next door to Carnegie Hall. Like I'm talking, the building is next door to Carnegie Hall. So we pulled up to the hotel at 3:45. Plenty of time, right? We drop our bags at the hotel. We walk into the lobby and boom, her grandmother was standing there. Her grandmother had flown in from Florida to surprise Kendall. There's crying and squeals and hugs. And now, wow. Game on. Excitement is really building. It's starting to feel real. You know what I mean? Like this is actually happening. So we get into the elevator and it's me and it's her grandma JJ and JJ's boyfriend John. And so we're going up, the four of us, and I'm starting to feel Kendall's pre-performance anxiety kicking in. How do I know? Because I can spot the way that I feel in these moments where I'm about to do something big. She's darting around the room. She's getting frustrated. She can't find her water. She can't find her this. She can't find her lipstick. She can't find her pants. She's got the wrong pants. And she's starting to get, short. Like people are like, "Well, can I help you?" "No, you can't help me. I can find," like, so you've been in that situation with people that you love, right? So now it's 4 p.m. and she starts going, "We got to go. We got to go. We got to go." And she has shoved all these clothes in her bag because she doesn't know what she wants to wear. "We got to go. We got to go." And I'm trying to calm her down and reassure her. Wrong thing to do. I'm like, "We got time, honey. Carnegie Hall is right next door. I've seen the entrance to the stage, the backstage door. It's literally 90 seconds from here. I saw the security guard. I saw the metal detector. I checked it out. We were going to go through it. Easy peasy." I don't even think she heard me. Like she's now in that state where she's ramped up. So we get into the elevator. Now, mind you, we now have an 86-year-old grandmother and her 85-year-old boyfriend tagging along. And so I'm starting to realize, okay, the last thing Kendall probably wants right now is an entourage. And so I start saying, "Hey, listen, we don't need to come with you to sound check. Seriously. Like if you just want to go and deal with this yourself, I will go hang out." And she grabs my arm and says, "No, Mom, I really want you to be there." So I say, okay. And so her grandmother's like, "Okay, well, we'll just walk you to the door." So we all head out to the hotel. We turn to the right. I see the stage door. It's open right on 56th Street. And I point and I say, "Honey, it's right there." And she goes, "No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't have the information. I have the information. It's on another street. I have the information. Come on, we're going to be late. We're going to be late. I hate being late." And she takes a right and cuts through the building between the hotel and Carnegie Hall and speed walks through the lobby in the wrong direction. And I'm trying to tell her grandmother, "Okay, you guys go. I'm going to go catch up with her." Anxiety is now in full charge. She is speed walking like she's at the Olympic speed walking finals. And I am now running after her and she's pumping her arms and now she's out the lobby and taking a left on 57th Street. I don't even see her anymore. So I'm running through the lobby. I get out the building. By now she's at the corner and you can tell she's upset. The scarf is flying. She's like, "Where is her?" And I'm like, "It's back there. It's back there." And she darts around the thing. And I'm like, "We got time. And you can just feel it. And none of the doors are open. And so as she goes to every door at Carnegie Hall and kind of grabs them, they're not opening. And so that's increasing the thing. And so I start to break into a light jog and I round the corner on 57th and 6th and cut down 6th in the front of Carnegie Hall. And then I go back down 56 to the door that's right next to our hotel. We have basically sprinted around a New York City block to arrive almost exactly where we were when we walked out of the hotel. And she keeps saying, I hate being late. I hate being late. I hate being late. And I'm like, we're still on time. We're still on time. It is 4:13. We should have been 20 minutes early. I'm like, you're right. But we're okay. We go through the metal detector. She asks for directions. The security guards were wonderful. They say, you got to go up to the second floor. She is still repeating in a huff. I hate being late. I hate being late. I hate being late. We round the corner. We hit the up arrow on the elevator. Looking at the watch. It's okay. It's just 4:15 right now. See, I'm late. We're in the building. And so now we're starting to bicker. The elevator doors open up. We race in. She punches the 2 so we can go up to the second floor where she's supposed to go meet all the other musicians. The elevator doors close as she's going, come on. And the elevator goes down. It's going to the basement instead of the second floor. And as that elevator dropped, my heart began to sink, and it's just the 2 of us in there. And Kendall drops her head and puts her hands over her face, and then she pulls her hands by her side with 2 fists and lets out this blood-curdling scream. I mean, I was shocked. Here I thought she was about to start sobbing. Are you kidding? Talk about a badass move. I mean, how often do you have these moments where you are so pent up with emotion that you are about to burst into tears? Or you just stuff it down and you never release it? I mean, this was a primal scream. This was like a cathartic moment where she released everything that had been building up probably for a week since she got that first email, right? This was not a scream of weakness. This was a frickin' lioness roar. And what I loved about it, she didn't care that I was in there. She didn't care what I was thinking. She didn't care who might hear her. What if you gave yourself permission to do that? To release the tension? To just let it freaking rip, to just and scream with all your might. To stop holding it in. To stop trying to hold it together. Maybe you're sitting there in the front seat of your car. Just let it scream. I would scream right now, but it would really hurt your ears if you have earbuds in. So I'm not going to do that. But you could walk into a bathroom stall. You could pick up a throw pillow if one of the kids is sleeping or taking a nap. You don't want to wake them up. Just walk out the front door and stand in your front yard and just scream it out. Hit the release valve. That's lesson number 2. The power of a good scream. Wouldn't it feel so good if you gave yourself permission to just release it all? I mean, Kendall's scream echoed through the elevator shaft. It was like the elevator was shaking, and it not only broke all the tension for her, I'll tell you what, it also sounded the alarm, because let me tell you what happened. The second she let out that scream and her fists were by her side, she was like, "Ah!" As soon as she was done screaming, it was like, boom, she was back in control, like it never happened. And it was kind of funny because what actually did happen is all of a sudden we hit the basement and the doors open. And there's literally a dude who has clearly run toward the elevator. He's out of breath. He's heard the scream because he's like, are you okay? I heard someone scream. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just had a moment. Like I just, needed to just scream. You know how you need to scream sometimes? And he was amazing. He laughed and he was like, oh, I totally get it. Happens all the time in here. He got on the elevator with us, rode up to the main floor, got out on the main floor. So we're still not to the second floor. But because she had screamed, she was no longer stressed out. She was in her power. It turns out there's a lot of research on how therapeutic screaming can be. And it was such a powerful moment. And researchers speculate as to why. See, after you scream like with intention like that, the relief that you feel after a big scream or a good cry is because there's this huge rush of endorphins and peptides produced by the pituitary gland and your central nervous system. And they act on your brain's receptors. It increases like the pleasure center, like maybe that's where the control comes from. It reduces pain and stress, and it increases strength. Now, this comes from Dr. Brian Bruno, who's the medical director at Mid-City TMS, a New York City-based medical center that's focused on treating depression, and he wrote this big article about it. Dr. Bruno says that as you scream, your body becomes more alert. And you release tension in the muscles that are caused by bottled up emotions. I mean, screaming literally gives voice to your emotions and transforms that feeling that can paralyze you and keep you like just stuck from something that's silent and creating this inner tension to something that you physically feel and hear and process. It allows you to release the emotion and take control. That's exactly what I witnessed in the elevator. Because as the elevator started to rise from the lobby up to the second floor, and we got closer to the second floor, and you could hear the piano playing in the rehearsal rooms. The doors of the elevator opened to the second floor. And there we were, with all the performers. And the first person that was there to greet us, her buddy Phil. He was waiting like a warm hug. Everything in that moment seemed to reset. And you could feel that things were different because they were. Don't underestimate the power of a good scream. I have been dying to tell you what happened when I was in New York City a couple weeks ago. The elevator doors close as she's going, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And the elevator goes down. My heart began to sink, and Kendall drops her head and puts her hands over her face. And then she pulls her hands by her side with two fists and lets out this blood-curdling scream.